Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Akoya. I make lifestyle, homemaking, and motherhood content here on YouTube. You can follow me on the other platforms at Miss Akoya Shmaya. Today, we are in a series where you're going to learn all the essential components of creating a timeless capsule wardrobe for pregnancy and postpartum. And by the end of it, you'll have all the tools for finding your perfect colors, fits, fabrics, and what to invest in. So today we're going to be focusing on that final part, the fabrics and the pieces to invest in. So pregnancy, in the grand scheme of life, is such a short time, but it is such an emotional time and a time of many changes. So having some outfits that really work for you in each of these transitions is really going to lighten that mental load, and I feel like can help you find a lot more joy and really create this enjoyable pregnancy versus when you can't find clothes that are fitting you and things that you're wearing things that just bother you and aren't functioning well. It is much harder to be joyful and to enjoy the process. It can just add this additional mental load to a time that's already so ever changing and has so much going on inside your brain. So I did 2 videos already. One, finding your perfect colors. This is going to help you know what colors to buy, clothing and different pieces in that are just going to flatter your skin tone the best, and in my opinion is the quickest way to looking put together in pregnancy and also just in your normal life when you're not pregnant. Then we talk a lot about the fits, styles, and things that are really flattering on a pregnant body, what to look for things that are going to transition you through all the stages of pregnancy and then into that postpartum period as you transition back to your new normal. And then today we're doing the fabrics. So let me get right into telling you what fabrics to be looking for. So this is going to be the content of each item. My sister likes to call it the ingredients, but this is the fibers that make up the clothing you're wearing. So is it a synthetic fiber, a natural fiber? What is the difference between the two? I am just going to let you know right away, I prefer to lean towards the natural fibers. I find them more breathable. They hold up better in the wash. They're not going to get as disturbed in shape and as wrinkly. They're just a lot more comfortable, and I find the longevity of those pieces tends to be a lot better. The drawback to doing a natural fiber would be the cost is higher. So then you could go the synthetic route and you're going to have a lot more option of clothing, but they're going to be much less breathable. They will stain easier, be harder to treat stains, and they're going to be more wrinkly. So they don't look as nice pregnancy after pregnancy, although the initial investment of those type of pieces is going to be a lot less. Now, there's some other things that have to do with the natural versus the synthetic fibers. Natural fibers are natural. You can get organic cottons, bamboos. They tend to just be more sustainably produced. Whereas when you go with the synthetic fibers, these have they're basically like plastics. You're pretty much wearing plastic. They're less breathable. They can have hormone disruptors. And in my opinion, in pregnancy, when your hormones are already doing crazy things you haven't experienced before, or maybe this isn't your first pregnancy, so you have experienced them, but still they are creating big emotions and big things going on. I don't feel like I want to be adding to that by wearing clothing that could potentially be disrupting my hormones and making me feel kind of crappy. So that's why I prefer the natural fibers. So let's talk about what some really great natural fibers are and what to be looking for on that little tag. I think this has one. So you'll either find it like up in the back of the neck of your shirt, or normally shirt, pants, whatever, or the left hand bottom. So like this sweater here, this is the tag, and you can see this one's super easy. There's barely anything on there, 100% cotton. So that is the fibers, what it's made of, or your ingredients. Okay, so 100% cotton. Cotton is in fact a natural fiber, spectacular, one of my favorites. I think it's the most accessible, reasonably priced natural fiber. Great for things like sweaters, loose fitting pants. You'll find a lot of very basic tank tops and t-shirts in that. Now, other fibers that I find you can be buying would be things like silk. There is silk from Quince. I will leave a link to their website. They even have maternity pieces, silk pieces. I find those are a little harder because silk can show sweat more, and I do find I personally sweat more in pregnancy, and it's just a little more finicky with the washing. You can do wool or cashmere. That's great for sweaters. Very breathable, very wicking, and temperature regulating. I personally am not the biggest fan of wool. It's too itchy for me, and I'm very sensitive to fibers, and the same even with cashmere. Is the texture of that is just too itchy. The way that those fibers are, they have like miniature little barbs, and even a very high quality like merino wool will still bother me, but I'm an incredibly sensitive individual. So I tend to lean more towards the cottons or bamboo. Highly sustainable. You will see bamboo, will say like bamboo viscose, bamboo modal. I tend to lean towards the viscose and the modal. Rayon is another version of bamboo, but you will see that more in like dresses and things, and everything I've had in rayon is a low quality, I would say. Those garments tend to get very wrinkly when I'm wearing them and just don't hold their shape as well through multiple washes, where I find the viscose or modal hold up a lot better. The one thing with those is to keep them in the most pristine condition, you will want to air dry anything bamboo. Cotton, if you air dry it, it won't shrink as much, but I tend to buy things knowing they will shrink slightly if I dry them, and I plan to. And then after the initial shrinking, they normally don't if you are washing them on like a cool setting and you're drying them on just a normal dry till they're almost dry. But anything that you could wash cool and then hang to dry is going to have the most longevity in not being pilly or getting extra fading to it. And then the last fiber would be like linen. That would be another option. And you might see like a cotton linen blend or a linen viscose blend. And those are really nice, like a blend of the fabrics, because you'll get the best of both worlds, more of the softness and the thinness, more of the texture, whatever it is. The one exception I make to this is I do not mind something that is a cotton or a modal with like maybe a 5% spandex or nylon to them, because spandex and nylon do add stretch, and a stretch that comes back really well. Lycra is a very high quality spandex, very smooth looking and comfortable. So I don't mind a small amount of that, especially when it comes to pregnancy clothing if you want something more fitted, because I find it just gives you a little more flexibility in that sizing and a little more comfort as you're moving throughout your day. But I do not want an all spandex full nylon thing. Yeah, that would not be my preference. The only thing that you cannot follow this rule on is if you do have to get like compression leggings for varicose veins or sciatica, you might need to get some support leggings. And I had linked some of them in my previous video on fits, and you will not find any of that in cotton, because those types of things need to be very strongly knit. They need to have really good bounce back, and that cannot be achieved in a cotton, or a linen will have almost no stretch and would be too textured for that type of garment. So those things you won't find, but I try to buy a majority of my stuff in the natural fibers, and that's kind of my exception, would be like some spandex, nylon in a small percentage, normally under 5%. The other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this when I was talking about the bamboo, but tencel is a form of bamboo, and it's more of a brand name, but it is the highest quality of bamboo, and it is incredibly soft, incredibly breathable. It has this cozy, luxurious feel, but it doesn't make you sweaty and like feel trapped like a polyester. You would probably see it a lot more in things like pajamas, maybe a like a nice tank top might have a tencel, and you would see it in a lot of things that you'd potentially see a polyester in, and it will be most likely more expensive, but incredible in comfort. So really love that. If you see anything like when you're out at Target or Marshall's and it says tencel, modal, or whatever, definitely try it on. I got a pair of pajamas, like a matching button-up top and pants for $25 with tencel as the material, and it is incredible, and $25 is like an unheard of price for something like that. So those are just fibers to be looking out for. It's really nice right now that there's more of a movement towards the natural fibers, so you should have better luck finding them. And any of the things I linked in the previous video, which I'll put up in the cards here and will also be in the playlist at the end of the video, are mostly cotton, mostly modal, like they are in that natural fibers. I did a lot of scouring on Amazon to find pieces like that for you that hopefully will be there for a while so that you can shop them. But then, you know, when you're out at Target or Walmart, every place has a collection of them. You just have to look, and you'll get better as you search for your investment pieces or any pieces you're going to add to your wardrobe to first look for something that's in the correct color, check the ingredients, and then say, is this fit going to flatter me? But there's no use in trying it on or even really looking at it if it's the wrong color. Definitely not correct if it doesn't have the right ingredients, materials in it. But if it's the right color and the right ingredients and materials, then that's something to try on. And this is going to help you go from having so many things that you don't even know where to start to a smaller selection. And in pregnancy, trying on a smaller selection is very helpful. Okay, so now the things that I would invest in. Invest in these better quality fibers to get the longevity out of these clothing pieces. But then also think about, what could I wear now that I can wear through multiple stages of a growing belly and chest, and then the reverse version when my belly is gone but not quite set in its normal firm state and I have a larger chest, and then when my belly is back to its normal and my chest starts to go back down to its normal, you know, your new normal, which is definitely going to be smaller than you're having just had a baby, but it might be slightly larger or slightly rearranged from your pre-baby thing. So great pieces to be really open to investing in is anything that's like a sweater or an open cardigan. Those tend to be very fluctuating in any kind of size because they can be worn open as you get larger and then zipped up towards as you get back to your more normal size. I also find shoes to be a good investment, but don't buy a ton because your feet can change in size. You'll notice, especially towards the end of pregnancy, that your feet will likely swell, and for some people, I'm one of them, postpartum, those next couple months postpartum, my feet are actually more swollen than like the last 3 months of pregnancy. So there's kind of like a 6-month window there where my feet get quite a bit bigger. But that's where I love something like a Birkenstock or a tennis shoe with an adjustable lace. Just something that has like a little more flexibility. I would spend a bit more money on, knowing that it's going to accommodate those fluctuating sizes. And then I would get myself a good pair of pants or jeans that I could wear in that first, second trimester. I probably wouldn't worry about it too much by third trimester. I feel like you'll be either in just super comfy lounge clothes or if you're really going out, you're probably wearing your compression and support leggings, or you've just accepted that you're very pregnant and you're gonna wear, you know, the loose waistband, loose wide leg pants. And then some great basic camis. This is one thing I would go into maternity clothes for that third trimester. I would try to make things in first and second trimester in the cami tank top thing work in just normal sizes, because that will be the most flattering as you come back down in size. But for the third trimester, I would probably go into my maternity size. For me, I get quite a bit larger, so I actually have to go up 1 to 2 sizes in a maternity tank top from my normal size, just to accommodate how large my belly has gotten. But I appreciate that, and they tend to be the basics I go into, because then I can throw any cardigan that I wear all the time, or maybe I do have two that I've loved so much I bought in a size up just to more flatter the adjustment in how much larger my like chest and hips are. It's just more flattering, but not absolutely necessary. And like, even I bought this sweater, which is incredibly oversized, and I love it right now, but postpartum I can definitely wear it. It might not be my absolute favorite, because eventually it will probably look way too big, but it is really nice for this current season and will be great postpartum, because it's not like fitted right up to my body and such, and but still could be layered under, or have layers underneath in like fall, winter come that season again. Okay, the other things that you could probably spend more money on would be things like jewelry and accessories. Those things are gonna carry through the whole pregnancy, postpartum. They're not gonna be affected by your changing size, but they're also not what I would be prioritizing, because if you need clothing, don't be buying earrings. Like, get some clothes. But if you have a decent rotation, some earrings, a headband, those types of things those things will really elevate a look, and also can create more of a different look and change up something when you're wearing that same basic outfit all the time. And then also dresses. I would definitely invest in dresses. They can seem very overwhelming in price to start, because they're more in that $50 to $100 range. But you have to think, when you're buying a dress, you're really getting the top and bottom together. And it's a simple outfit. It's something you put on and you automatically look nice and more elevated without having to think about it at all. You don't have to look for the matching set, none of that. But also, not to say you can't have matching sets. Those are great too. They're going to be similar in price to the dress. In fact, I even find they're sometimes a little bit more to get a separate top and bottom, but you can mix and match those things into your closet. So a few of those can be really nice for creating quick outfits and some versatility, and some really great dresses, especially the smocked ones. Anything I linked in my previous video, all of those would be great investment pieces, things you'll wear all throughout your whole entire pregnancy and throughout your whole entire postpartum. Honestly, probably could wear them, depending on your size, with how flexible the sizing is, all the way into being pregnant and postpartum again. Like, they're just going to continually fit. And so that's why, being the fourth baby, I know that investment is so minimal compared to the amount of wear you will get out of it. So all in all, those are my tips on the best fabrics and the best things to invest your money in as you create a pregnancy and postpartum capsule that can blend seamlessly into your current wardrobe and carry you through all the stages of pregnancy and postpartum. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you as part of the fam. And share this with a friend who might be looking for more tips on upgrading their style in this season. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.